It's Tuesday, about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's been a while since I've come on here, and I just wanted to make sure I had something worth showing. And what I'm going to do today is just going to go through all the different stocks that I'm watching lately. So I'm back at work right now, and I haven't had as much time just to allocate towards creating content. So my apologies with that, but I mean, if anyone gives me a specific task, I'd be more than happy to check that out for them. So I'm going to go through a list here, and it's a lengthy one, so I might just kind of rapid fire these different assets and just make a couple little pointers with them and kind of continue on. So some of these are mine. I'll let you know which ones are mine. So the PSLV here, Sprott Physical Silver. This is definitely one of my. This is one of mine for sure. It's got one of the highest amounts proportionally in my portfolio, so know that I might be a little bit biased with this, but looks like we're going up on an ascending triangle here. I'm hoping that silver has more or less bottomed, and it looks like this is performing relatively well. Some levels that I'm looking at in the near immediate future for breakouts, it would be nice to see movement above this 950 mark, and that would just kind of confirm that yeah, we're going to be going upward and onward. And you know what, I think I'm going to just go revert back to silver and gold, because we're going to cover those first, and then a lot of these other assets apply to them, right? So if it's a silver ETF, a gold ETF, then we want to just look at the core asset that they're all trading around. So silver, just to zoom it up here in the immediate present, we're battling right now. We got a downward long-term trend line we're trying to get over, and then we got a little bit more of a short-term trend line. So you can see we're right in this area, and if we could get above, let's say 1850 and hold there, it'd be very bullish for silver. We're definitely in this range here, and almost anything could happen. We see the momentum kind of bouncing around. The MACD, not quite sure. And when we look at the week here, it's definitely looking pretty bullish, but we see a little bit of flattening here. And yeah, it's going to be the next few weeks are going to be quite pivotal, in my personal opinion, for gold and silver, because silver right here, yeah, it's trying to get above this little trend line, and when we zoom it out, we can see that it is quite low in regards to its all-time high. So we're not nearly eclipsing the next bull market cycle, but we're here and we're right at the bottom of the cup. I mean, it seems like a pretty good place to get in on my estimation. I mean, but the future has never been more uncertain for everything. So see some good things in here in silver. I'm definitely not going anywhere. It's just going to be interesting to see if we can cross this line. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, I'll definitely come on here if there's any monumentous moves or anything like that. Let's just go to gold here and take a look at that. Gold's a little bit different. I mean, when I say a little bit, I mean, silver, we're down here at the bottom of the cup somewhat. I mean, gold, we're legitimately challenging all-time highs. Not quite, so to speak, but we just kind of had a nice little push through here. If we zoom up, we can see that we did. We just pushed through that last little weekly high. And yeah, gold is pushing forward here. So if we could see this thing start getting towards some of these levels like 1800, I think that that's going to be very bullish for precious metals and commodities in general. And looking at some of this stuff, I mean, on the monthly, we can see that we're you know, it looks like we're in a bull run here. I mean, it's not confirmed since we haven't got above this level, but especially if we get above 1820, we can close on the month above 1820. That's definitely very bullish for me. And then all my silver and silver ETFs and gold mining, all that stuff's gonna basically be based off of what gold and silver does. So looking back here, just a quick little historical comparison. Not that these are always what do you want to call it? They're not always perfectly consistent. I don't even know if that's going to be relevant here. My apologies. I think I was going to make a point, and I just don't see it right here now. I don't know if it's because I don't have the data here, and that's exactly why. So I'm just going to keep going. But regardless, I think you guys get my point. The comparison I was going to make is that last time gold came up within about 17% of the all-time high, then had another little resurgence down and had about a 15% drop, and then continued on for the bull run. So it's not crazy to think that we might have a little bit of a putter out here. Just like in silver, there's a possibility, there's a real possibility that we just kind of fizzle out a little bit in here before we can bust through these little resistances, especially since we've had such a big move lately, you know, since, well, gold's been a little bit more progressive, but silver, like just within the last few months, it's had about a 60% increase, so we could see a little bit of a pullback because, I mean, that's a big move. That's a big move overall. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on gold and silver, and then moving on. We'll go and see what else we got here. So let's go back to PSLV, and that's just my Sprott Silver. Spot Physical Silver Trust. So this is a trust in Canada backed by the Royal Canadian Mint, and we know who the custodian is, and yeah, it's a Royal Canadian Mint, so it's a lot safer than HSBC in my mind. And similarly here, I mean, we're all along this upward trend line, so it wouldn't be ludicrous to see a little bit of a pullback in these areas. But some bigger notes, let's just look at the monthly here. You can see it just had a little bit of a pivot back upward here, so that's a good sign for the bullish sentiment. And most of these, I mean, they're not gonna perform out of character to silver. So this rise right here, that's all following silver. Let's just see what it is in percentages. So it's even less. I mean, 45%. Silver was about 50-60%. I'm not going to check that. You can look at your own accord. We can see here we're still well above this trend line. So there's no reason for me to get out of these assets. Not at all. I mean, I'm kind of happy just watching it kind of recover up to these levels. And yeah, if we get above 950, that'd be a pretty good bullish sentiment for me. So I imagine if silver can bust through into the 19s, we're going to see Sprott jump up here, and yeah, there's not a lot of resistance after we get up here, so that might be something that I add on to even. We'll see, right? So we're going to just keep on going. So we got PSLV, we're going to do CEF. So this is the same general company, but it's a mixture of gold and silver. So instead of just getting one or the other, you're going to be getting both at once. And you can see that this one, when you put it together, it looks a little bit more like that gold chart, right? It looks a lot like the gold chart. To be honest, it's almost identical. So yeah, especially when we look at, yeah, I mean, this is almost following gold more than silver, and would make sense because if it's gold and silver, gold has a much larger market cap. I think like 9 trillion, gold, silver something like, I don't know, 43 billion or something. Those are just off the top of my head, but something's pretty similar to that. So if it's an even mixture, maybe it is following just the gold price a little bit more. Regardless, it's the same, my same little, my interpretations. We got a nice clear bull run here, Mark. You know, we got a nice clear separation of these lines, and they're going up. So when you see them going downward, that's not really the ride you want to take. I mean, on the other way, definitely good things can happen. So all-time highs 26, 21, and if we get above those numbers, then yeah, it's looking pretty good, especially when all this stuff is just correlated together. We're not going to do any cryptocurrency stuff here, but I will do stuff on that with recommendation. I mean, we're just going to keep going. Copper, I mean, copper's kind of like gold and silver. Well, let's just check it out here. I mean, I might just mess it up because it's not necessarily an asset. So, you know what, I'm not going to look at that, but copper looks like an okay play too. A little bit of physical copper ain't going to be the worst idea whatsoever. So I think I'm going to keep with the gold and silver narrative and check out some of these mining companies. So right here, I'll give credit to my buddy Derek. He spotted this one out and looked at some of the finances, and I kind of seen like, look, we got some pretty good consolidation, and knowing that it's a gold mining company and gold's kind of in a little jump here, yeah, we played this breakout and it ended up being pretty nice. Why 88 cents? I think there must have been a wick. Yeah, there's a wick right there, and I just played the breakout. So nice consolidation, played the breakout, limit order, bought in, very happy with the trade. I'm still in it right now because there's no real reason to say get out. There's a good pivot upwards here. We got good momentum upwards. There's no cessation here on the monthly chart. So we can look at the weekly here. You can see maybe it tried to flatten for a second, but it's back up here. So there's not too much bridging of this gap. It's still a steady march upward here. Looking at the day, we had our downward accumulation, and now it looks like we're coming back up. It looks like we're almost going to cross again. So PGM is in its relatively relative highs here. This is the one. I mean, it's tough to say buying now. I mean, the opportunity was there, but Sprott bought into this one. So a couple other my companies that I really like bought into this. So it only reaffirms my confidence in it. And yeah, it's got a nice long accumulation here. And it looks like we had a good separation. Those are some good buying candles right there. So, I mean, looks like a pretty good. I mean, I just never can really tell you to buy at the highs, to be honest. But it just say, yeah, I was kind of surprised that this one pumped right up here. So this is one that I am invested in it. You know, I mean, I bought it here. We're up here right now, so I'm pretty happy about the purchase. So I'm just gonna keep on going on. So that's Pure Gold Mining, PGM. It's definitely something that I'm not going to sell until I see some type of downward action, some type of switch in the market, or some type of crazy gold news. I'm going to take another look here. We're going to do KL. And this one's going to be Kirkland Gold. So this is an Ontario mining company. And I don't have any of this right now, but I did have a limit order buy for this because, well, I mean, I can see some positives. I haven't really looked at this chart for a while, but geez, yeah, I haven't really looked at this at all. Like, yeah, wasn't that a good, man, where were we? 7 cents. 7 cents to 50 some? Jeez, man, to 70. Holy smokes. So, yeah, it looks like we're on the downward trend right here. So I would just like kind of be a little bit more hesitant to jump into this. We had that big bull run. I mean, all the same, it's a gold mining company, and I have some people that I know are working for safety in there. They don't know that I'm talking about them, but I know that they're kind of within the in circles. Right here, we're having a little bit of rounding happen on this, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. Is this just like a brief temporary fizzle point, because it did lose quite a bit of that value. It did have a drop. Just like everything, we had that drop right there, but this one looks like it's quite volatile, I guess, or bouncy. I mean, so from 70 down to 20 or 25, that's a pretty steep loss. But when we look at it more right here, you can see that crossover right here, and we're just about to flicker into the green here on the momentum. So this might be something I'll have to take a bigger look at. I don't want to get too hung up on this one, but yeah, this is an interesting one, especially seeing how well it's performed. I mean, you know, like that's just like, I don't know, like I usually don't say buy at the top, you know, I'm feeling kind of scared, but we've had a little bit of downward movement, and if this could start leveling out again, this might be a real winner, especially since I know people are working on safety. I'm gonna have to talk to that guy about this mining company. So this Kirkland Gold here, so we're just gonna keep going on, kind of bang them out. We're not going to do Facebook and Amazon, or maybe I'll do that then, but I'm just going to continue with the theme here. So we're going to do Victoria Gold. So yeah, I did have a limit order. I just put it at the top for like a breakout buy, so I had it something like this, and then I didn't have enough cash in my account, and I think I ended up buying this one in. This one's been kind of messing with me. Victoria Gold, okay, yeah, Victoria Gold, so it's another mining company. So you're seeing it's a theme of Canadian mining companies. I think like within the gold and silver bull market, what usually pops first is the stocks. Stocks pop, and they pop hard. And when I say pop, they blow up. And then they run right down too. So these are stuff that, I mean, you can't just buy it and forget it like gold and silver. I mean, this is the stuff you got to be more trading. So with these mining companies, no, I am trading them. I'm not holding on for forever and ever on them. But right here, I was more or less playing that same kind of play that I did with, what do you want to call it, PGM. So I seen a little bit of consolidation. Granted, it had this wick down, so that made me think, okay, that's usually how it goes. This is just purge everyone out of here, buy them up, and then now we have a chance to go up. So first time I bought in was at 1204, and then I think I said like a stop limit, and yeah, I set a stop limit and it just got filled again. So here it was, yeah. I think where did I buy? It's not looking as good, but this time I bought it this one because it was like on a shorter term. It was consolidating someone at this 1370 or something. So I did end up buying right here, and now it's dropped down a little bit. So I'm down like $50 or something on like a $2,000-3,000 order. But you can see it's definitely not just dropping off. We can see it's curling. We can see that this is potentially coming back up. So I'm not gonna just sell this immediately. We can see the weekly here is coming up pretty good. We're still marching here. Until I see some rounding, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of this one. I wanna see a little bit of profit right here. In the monthly, we've just seen a sharp spike up as well. So all positives for me. We have, we're not overextended on a lot of these things on a bigger time frame. We have that wick down, which you could say capitulation, or I mean, sometimes after a big wick, you can see a pretty good rise up. There's, like, you know, 52-week highs, we're at all-time highs. So let's see if we can ride this momentum into some profit. So we're gonna just, so this is one I own here, just like with PGM. Those are two that I have right here. IPT, I think this is one that I might have an open order on too. And this is, so on a monthly sense, on a monthly time frame, I don't know if I should always say cents, but on a monthly time frame, we can see that it's been up and down, but it's been somewhat downward trending overall, but we can see it's upward trending as well, right? So we're getting some lower highs and some higher lows, and we just kind of broke up out of this platform right there, and I'm watching it because it looks like we're riding this up here, and just like with everything else, if gold goes up, we might get a lot more volatile moves here. Looks like we had a good pivot up, just like everything, right? I mean, steep staircase up here. This is going up. We're kind of figuring out what we want to do. And then if we look at the day, we have all this stuff going on. We can see it. We kind of went down. My buddy told me right about here, and I was like, man, I'm just going to wait for it to putter out a little bit. And looks like we did have this putter. I don't know if it's quite done, but it starts to march up right here. So, I mean, this is where sometimes if you wait for the breakout, you can lose a decent amount of percentage. Like, so right now it's 70 cents. I mean, if I buy this at 75, which I have my order at, I'm pretty sure 75 cents to break out. I'm okay with taking those losses. I mean, or missing that gap, because you never know what could happen. It could just keep on rolling over, but it looks like it's trying to come back up here. And if it does surge into this range, which the weekly, it still has momentum to come up here, and the monthly here, there's all the reason, combined with the gold and silver narrative, right? So depending on what gold and silver does will dictate if I just kind of scatter out of these mining stocks. But Impact Silver, I have a stop limit order at 75 cents to trigger it, and then so that's that one. BMW and Marvel are the 5G stocks, so I'm not going to take a look at that. Citrix is a different one. I think we can look at maybe Barrick. Barrick will be a decent one here. And this is one of my one buddies. He likes this one too, and can't really hate on it too much. I mean, overall, we've got a pretty big positive increase here. Looks like we got this ascending wedge forming right here on the monthly. Looks like we've had a nice little loop-de-loop. Looks like we're heading upward. On the week, looks like we're having a little bit of a correction here. But if we can get above, let's say, that trend line in this one right here, in these ranges right there, I might be getting on this. But this is a bigger company. I mean, I don't expect the moves to be as drastic or volatile, but you could have definitely played this cup right here at $22 and got that up. Could have rebought in right here too, knowing that was pretty darn good support. With this one, I mean, on the day sense, it looks pretty decent. I mean, seeing that the momentum has went down, I guess you could have got it right there. Yeah, like what I was saying, like right at that $22, like that would have been a good point, especially timing it with the momentum change. And you're starting seeing the golden cross right here on the daily. It looked like there could be some potential for some upward action here. But let's look at the week and see which way it's going. It looks like it's supposed to go down, but it's definitely kind of stopping, right? So that's kind of it's a, it's kind of a mixed signal. But on the monthly, it looks like we're still rising up. So there might be a decent buy right here, right now. To be honest, I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but you can see it's coming up, and it just kind of increased the angle a little bit. So just thinking, like, what could you get for a stop loss? 25, 26. I mean, this would be a good one right there at the 22.15. That'd be pretty good risk to reward, I would suspect. To get into something in the gold market, could buy in right now. It's not bad at all. I haven't really looked too much at these silver mining companies, but First Majestic Silver I know is one of them. So yeah, I don't want to get this too long and just like I said, I mean, with these companies, I mean, it's basically going to be going off the gold and silver price. So when you start seeing changes, positive changes, like those assets breaking their all-time highs or their recent highs, it's definitely time to start looking at these assets with a more curious eye, because there could be a lot of profit to be made here. It's pretty indecisive right now. There's no clear momentum up or down, except when you look at the week, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good marching up here. Looks pretty good here. You start seeing some rounding. You start seeing this come down a little bit, and then that's probably what's playing with this monthly, just giving it this flat kind of ugly look. It looks like we're coming down on the day, but it's not too vicious. I don't have too much to say about this one, so I'm just not going to say too much more. So I think I hit some general things, and it's been a while since I came on here, so hopefully the volume was okay, and gave a little update with the market. And I'm just going to hit some of these other assets that are on this list, because why not, hey? So Zoom Communications, this was more of a tech one, that video conference calls for everyone working at home, all that kind of shit. I mean, this was all hyped and all crazy, and I had a little breakout buy in this one too, but it didn't get filled. It jumped it. Where the hell did I have it? I had it at 180. I had it right here, and you can see the market just opened, and it missed my order right there. So another example of this consolidation at the top, and a good way to do breakouts. You set the limit order, you get filled, you can just set that stop loss almost right here again, and I missed out on a little gain. I'm not going to jump into this late because it looks already pretty overextended. I mean, it might keep going up a little bit, but yeah, I missed out on a 40% little move there. So that's just the kind of shit that happens when you don't have alerts and all that stuff, which makes me think, like, is it worth the $30-40 a month to get one of those programs just to give you those alerts? And there's just so many things to keep an eye on, and life gets busy, and then everyone wants a piece of you these days. So it's hard to set aside hours for every single little hobby, and that's what trading is. You just need to spend the time, and the more you get, the more you drift away from it, the more you can lose a lot of money. And it sucks when you don't have people that kind of pump you back up and say, yeah, what are you doing? So this is my way, because I don't really have a good circle. Not too many. I got one or two, but most people I can't talk to about this. So that's why I like to come on here and at least try to find some. You gotta look for the people that I have conversations with sometimes. Looking at Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is just like one of those companies. It's one of those megalodons, right? I mean, we're at all-time highs right now. Barely got affected. I mean, didn't even make a lower low with all that pandemonium. I mean, do you see Facebook going anywhere? All I see is like integration with Facebook with the government, which is going to be probably good for their economic welfare, as long as they don't do anything too radical. But yeah, they're working hand in hand with a lot of different, what do you call it, like political narratives, right? I mean, they're always in there stirring the pot, eh? I mean, but on the week here, you can see there was some good buying, like kind of buy signals right in here. You could have rolled that up. Very good. I mean, we're somewhat seeing this rounding. It's not, I mean, it's still a pretty good gap right here. That's kind of flattening out though. So I don't know if I'm not going to be buying any Facebook at these all-time highs, let's be honest. But if it might not be a bad asset if you already have it. I mean, it did just do another little freaking jump up here. It's one of those stocks you just hate, hey? Like, you just hate when it does good, but sometimes you wonder why you don't have some. Why don't you have some of it, right? So Facebook's like it's almost like a safety. It's almost like better than keeping in the savings account because, I mean, at least it's gonna slowly accumulate with time. I mean, same with Amazon. Looks like, again, like we had that shitty time. Boom, Amazon. Boom, boom, boom. Like that's just bull run out of nowhere. And tell you, man, if there's a second wave, you better believe oh my goodness, excuse me. You better believe that Amazon's gonna do well because right here, yeah, it just had a nice steep crossover. And I mean, whenever you see something that steep, like you could see some gains here, you know. Another one that is just like kind of like death defying. Like it's just like, how the hell is this thing going up still? But typically does. I mean, buy one damn share. But so that's just where, I mean, when the shares are so large, I mean, it just makes you feel like you're not making much profit, and like the gains are sometimes a little bit more minuscule than other assets because it's such a large thing. But right there, you could have been thinking about testing it, and it looks like it went up and then sold off and then came back up. That's where those breakouts don't always work. If you just always try to kip it off, and then sometimes it rolls over. So everything you gotta look at it all. But yeah, Amazon just boom is going up here. I mean, I'd like to get it down here at some type of lower consolidation. I don't like buying at these higher highs, but Amazon and Facebook are definitely in the back of my head. Just thinking like, hey, maybe I should buy some of those once they kind of calm down with their steam, because it's just good to have diversity, right? And it's not all in gold and silver. But nothing is always makes sense as it should. I mean, if I think it's pretty obvious that if the Federal Reserve didn't print, you know, about 10 trillion and pump it right into the stock market, it'd be doing a lot worse. And I guess what should you know, as someone that's trying to make predictions, I mean, it's pretty tough to like predict that, you know, that's what the government's going to do. But that's why there's importance of diversity, I guess, and be more than happy to see things go better than worse. But unfortunately, I mean, seeing the stock market go up doesn't really reflect to the average person. I mean, it's more or less the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, unfortunately, because Amazon, like, who owns all these stock? I mean, it isn't your average Joe Blow. Same thing with the Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, so that's definitely consolidation of wealth in my mind. But regardless, I mean, if they're going up, they're going up. I mean, there's every reason for Amazon not to collapse. I mean, unless there's some other big news, right? I mean, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. So let's just look at these other ones here. A couple of these 5G companies that, regardless of my personal feelings with these companies, it's cool looking at the technicals here. BMW, yeah, so I did a whole 5G series here, and we could see that was that all-time high beforehand, 125.25. So if you're wondering what the hell do I have that number, that's why. So my initial thoughts were, if we could go up here and then have a lower low, you know, almost test support right in here, and then continue up, this might be worthwhile. This might be worthwhile to take a look at. Especially here, it looks like we're starting to edge back up. So if this could have a clear moment above, this might be a decent one. Again, this more for that diversity factor. We had this go up to $210. It's about 150, so there is about 25% back to the top. And yeah, it looks like on the week here, just like everything, man, right? I mean, it's the same chart because of that same recovery, right? I mean, Fed counterfeiting money. I'm not sure if they put it in here, right? But just like, yeah, all these, it's like all that, where'd all that money go? Where'd all that stimulus go? I mean, $1,200 a person in the States, like, that's nothing, man. Nothing compared to, like, the money that got surged into the markets just to prevent the whole system from collapsing. And I mean, is that better or worse? Well, you know, natural collapse we could recover from it. I mean, you keep on manipulating it. I mean, it could be crazy. Regardless, let's just keep going. I'm almost done here, guys. I know I have a long half-hour video. I mean, sometimes when I get down to business, you know, I'm here to do it. I mean, I don't like coming in here and just doing a little bit of work. Marvel Tech. So this one right here actually looks decent. I mean, I'm going to be taking a look at this because I think I did this back in April. So in April we were right about here, and we did bust between the 29 and 74. And what I wanted to have was some consolidation pre-37. So if we can get some consolidation here, this is going to be looking juicy to me. I'm going to probably set up a stop limit right here, 36.60 if I have enough cash. And I think I'll play that breakout because that's what it is right here. We got a big, 10-year cup. And if we can bust into that, oh shit, my apologies. That seems like a pretty good one. That's probably my most tasty one right now for more short term. Like I want to see maybe a little bit more consolidation, but yeah, this Marvel one is probably one of my for outside of gold and silver. That's definitely something that looks the best out of like those 5G companies for like right here in the moment. So I'm just gonna take a color. This is like some biotech stock. I mean, yeah, these biotech stocks, man. I mean, they are what they are. But I guess right here, I mean, just to use those same concepts, though, I don't really care what it is. I mean, I do care what it is because you don't want to just trade shit assets, but right here, 155, we can see that's more or less the cup we're in right here. We tried to surge up here, got denied, but looks like we had a pretty good crossover right there. I mean, on the month-to-month sense, we started moving in the positive, and that's a huge green candle out of nowhere. Right here looks like a green one out of nowhere too, but we don't have enough data. So looking on the week here, we definitely have like a slow accumulation. The bad news is it almost looks like it was rounding a little bit. But it's testing. Look where it's testing at that 155. So looking at the day, it looks like we're coming down. But again, I don't really get involved with biotech stocks. But yeah, it was just one there. I mean, it looks like it's rounding back down. But it's always fun to see what they're doing. I don't know why I showed this one. That one's not the best one. CTX XS. Last one here. Last one. And I think this is why I wanted to show it. This is one that I know that one of the senators got caught with insider trading. Previous high at 142.36. Oh, never mind. My apologies. 98.46. And looks like we're coming up here. Might be an okay one. It's like one of those zoom kind of things. I mean, if we have a little correction down to here, I might take a look at it, but nothing too good. So overall, yeah, I'm definitely looking at gold and silver. I mean, nothing. I'm not like foaming at the mouth. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm not like checking it every hour on the hour for huge drops. So gold and silver is going to dictate how a lot of these other gold and silver mining companies are going to do in the short term here. I'm looking at a couple 5G ones here, and I have some stipulations. This Marvel looks pretty good, especially if it just if you do like a breakout order here, like a stop limit, just around this number. You could do 37, you could do 37.50, whatever you want it to do. I mean, and then yeah, I think I said my 2 cents on a lot of these other ones. So there's a little bit of a market update of what I'm taking a look at and my positions, what I hold. I mean, I could even show you what I hold. I mean, so yeah, you can see I do these stop limit orders here. I mean, I don't think you could rob me here, but this is my PGM. I just put it right away. I mean, I put it in here. It's going to expire right away. But you can do the stop limits. They trigger at this, and then you set it out there. So I have just my orders just waiting. But yeah, I don't think I want to scan my bank account information too much here with you guys, but hopefully it was okay. I mean, hopefully everyone's doing good. If anyone wants me to take a look at anything, let me know. But that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at a lot of these different gold, silver, Canadian-based mining companies, and just like looking at gold and silver and kind of waiting for this next move. Right? Are we gonna get rejected? Or are we gonna break into the all-time highs and if it is, I mean, yeah, man, I'll be spending a lot more time here because the movements are going to be a lot more volatile. So everyone have a good day. Take care. Okay. Bye bye.